Hey everybody, it's Michelle Chalfant, and happy holidays. And I'm doing, yes, I think you know this, a Drivetime download, and I'm just getting some information that's coming on down through about grief. It has been coming up in my sessions and in conversation just with people that I know. So I wanted to talk a little bit about grief during the holidays, and whether it be you're somebody that's experiencing grief or somebody that is friend or family member of somebody that is in grief. That's what we're going to talk about today, is what do you do from the adult chair on both sides of that table or both sides of that aisle? How can you show up for somebody, and what do you do if you're in grief? So for starters, let's talk about if you're experiencing grief. Now, grief can come from, of course, anybody that has lost somebody to death, or it could even be somebody that has experienced a divorce, or even moving away or moving far away and you're not with family for the holidays. I know that the holiday time is such a hot time to spark up something like grief, and just being far away can bring up a lot of grief and sadness that we're not with our loved ones. So I'm going to talk about both today. And grief, no matter what's happened, whether it be someone's moved away or somebody is divorced or somebody has lost a loved one, it's all the same feeling inside. It could be a feeling of just lots of sadness or loneliness or grief. The word grief is an emotion as well. So what do we do with it from the adult chair? Well, we want to, as you know what I'm going to say, I think if you follow my show and follow the adult chair work, we want to move into those emotions. We don't want to shut down those emotions. And as you know, we shut down emotions by just avoiding them, creating drama, eating or overeating, drinking, drugging, shopping, all of these things we do to avoid emotion. And what we want to do instead is to really move in that and honor what's coming up. If you've lost a loved one, honor that feeling that's coming up. There's a lot of grief there. It's okay. We want to be okay with our emotions, especially this grief that's coming up around the holidays. It's normal to feel grief if you've lost someone around the holidays or any time throughout the year. So be in it. Some people ask me, well, how do I know, if I'm in it correctly, or if I'm stuck in grief, or how do I know? How do I know? I would ask yourself, and again, I think that we are the only ones that know. So the way that we process grief it's different for everybody. And if you're in it, ask yourself, am I stuck in this grief? Am I able to move through it? Has it been a week, a month, a day, a year? Ask yourself, am I stuck in this grief? And sit with it, journal it, process it, go to see a therapist about it, listen to your friends. However, I caution you, because other people are not good with sadness. Other people are not good with grief, and they want us, actually, most humans are not good with negative emotions in general, and they want us to get out of them. So they're going to fix us. So I caution you to ask people that might want you to be pushed out of it quickly, because it's making them feel uncomfortable. So, my father has been gone for 15 years now, and I have moments where I still cry about him. It's not a daily basis, but I certainly have moments throughout the year where I will be in tears over it. So over him passing, or missing him, or wishing he was here, or missing out on grandchildren, or I needed advice the other day on something in my business. And I said, who would know the answer? My father. And I can't ask him. So I got upset about it, but it comes and goes. And I think that's normal. But what's normal for me might not be normal for someone else. I know even when my father died, I remember going in for his funeral. The day of his funeral, we walked into the church and I saw his coffin and I started crying, even though I had seen it the night before at the, for his open casket for the viewing hours. I didn't cry then, but the day of the funeral, I cried and didn't stop for 7 days. Now, that's just how I didn't intend to do that. It's just how my body process that grief in my emotional body, mental body, physical body, and spiritual body. They all came together, and that's just what happened. And I just let it happen to me. I was not directing anything. And for it was at least 7 days, day and night, I just cried. I couldn't stop. And I remember thinking, I don't think I'm ever going to stop crying. And then on the 8th day, I woke up and I was just done. My sister, however, cried off and on for months. So it was very different for her than me. And not one of us was right or wrong in our grief. It's just how we processed it. For the people that are on the receiving end of someone that's grieving, how then from our adult chair do we show up? We want to become aware of if we are uncomfortable with the feelings of someone else upset in front of us or someone else talking about their loved one that's not with them. What we don't want to say, and I've heard this many, many, many times, people know when they've lost someone that if they were sick, typically people, because we don't know what to say. Let's face it, most of us do not know what to say when someone dies, but I'm going to give you some ideas right now. But we'll hear things like, they're in a better place and they're with God now, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're sitting in major grief and your child has passed on, or you have lost someone that you adore, or you've even broken up with a loved one, and we might hear things then like, oh, you're going to meet someone new. Don't worry. It's like, we don't want to hear that. What we do want, most of us, I'm going to take a wild guess, and you guys have heard me say this before, what we do want is someone to be with us in our pain. We want to be witnessed in our pain. So if I'm grieving, I don't want anyone to come in and fix me. I want you to be with me in it. It doesn't mean you have to sit and cry with me. However, if you cry, it's okay. If someone that you love or care about is crying because they've lost their father or their whomever, fill in the blank, and you get teary-eyed and start crying with them, it's okay. We're all human here. It's okay to cry with somebody else and show your emotions. If they're sad, be sad with them. If you want, don't force anything, but let your body do whatever it wants to do to help release your own emotions. But show up instead for that other person that's sitting in grief. You might say something like, I don't know what to say. I know you're really upset, but I want you to know that I'm here with you. And please tell me what you need. I'm here with you. You've got my shoulder to cry on. I'm just going to be with you here and hand you Kleenex if that's what you need, but I'm here with you. We don't want to feel abandoned when we're sitting in our grief. We want people that are going to show up for us and be with us. And the person that is experiencing the grief, going back to you guys, let others know what you need. Let them know what you need. So if you need them to sit with you and just hold your hand, then tell people. Because it's uncomfortable for people. We don't know what to say. I've heard this a million times. I don't know what to say to so-and-so. They just lost their father, mother, aunt, uncle, whomever. And my response is the same, which is, why don't you ask them what they need? Because everyone is different. Just keep remembering, everyone is different, but at our core, we're all human. So ask them what they need. Oftentimes I'll hear people say, if they've lost someone, that they're really afraid that if they don't talk about them, that person's memory will be erased. So they enjoy talking about their loved one that's not around anymore. That's okay. Let that person talk about them. How can, maybe you could help find ways to honor that person. Maybe you leave a table setting at the table for that person that is not with you this year. I think it's great. I mean, we talk, my sister and I, and at holidays with the rest of our family, we'll talk about memories of my dad, not intentionally, but it'll come up, or uncles or grandparents or things like that. And we'll laugh and remember the good times. It's okay to do that. Absolutely okay. And if someone starts crying, it's okay. It's okay when people cry and when people are talking about people that they have lost. One of the biggest things I really want to share is just to honor where you are in your process. It's okay to feel your emotions. It's okay, in fact, healthy to feel them. And then if you want to express them again, journal about what's going on inside of you. sit down with a friend or family member and say, can I just talk to you about some things that are coming up for me? I want to share some great memories. This is all okay, you guys. Nobody should have to just stifle or stop themselves from speaking about somebody that they love or sharing their emotions because other people are uncomfortable. If they are uncomfortable, then go find someone else that's not uncomfortable, or go sit by yourself even. I've sat by myself and cried about my father, and other people that have passed on, and relationships that have ended that, again, some of these people are still here. I remember first moving out of state, and the first Christmas, we moved to Tennessee. I was without my family, thinking it was going to be a great new ritual for us. And you know what? It wasn't. And I cried the whole day because I was in grief. I missed my family. I did not want to be away from them at Christmas. And that was okay too. It's just emotions that are coming through and showing up for us, and let them come through. Honor them. If you're somebody that might have a new family structure, like maybe you've lost your husband or your wife, or again, a child, or someone in the family is not here this year, think about some ways that you can honor that person. Think about some new rituals that you can start this year that you haven't done in the past. Maybe change things up. Maybe instead of having dinner at home, you go out to dinner. Maybe instead of having, ham every single year for dinner for Christmas, maybe this year you have turkey, or you have a totally different meal, or you have lasagna or something else. Like perhaps this year you change things up a little bit and you start new traditions if that feels right. I'm very much encouraging all of you, if you are in grief, to step inside of yourself, get connected to you, and figure out what the heck is it that you feel guided to do for yourself, for your family this year as you sit with your grief. Let your grief guide you. Let your grief guide you. Maybe this year you do a very small celebration and it's a very quiet holiday because you are in pain. That's okay too. Give yourself permission to do anything that honors you. Anything at all. So I hope this is helpful for you all. I know this can be a very, very difficult time of the year if we are sitting without people that we have lost. And if we have, again, changed up our family because of a divorce, and maybe our ex-partner or spouse has the children, and you're sitting at home alone on a Christmas holiday, or on Christmas or a Hanukkah holiday, anything at all. If you're sitting alone, what new ritual can you start this year if you don't have your children with you? Perhaps, again, it's like, let me get all of my single friends together. Let me go to so-and-so's house. What can you do that's special and unique for you? Let's start new rituals. If the old ones are going to be different because of a change in family, what can you start new this year? Sit, journal about it, sit in meditation, sit and go, just sitting and tuning into yourself on the inside and asking yourself, what do I want to do? Do I want to sit alone? Do I want to sit home and watch Christmas movies all day long and be in my pajamas all day long? Great, then do that. But let your inside guide you. Let your heart guide you. Remember that inner child is connected to the heart, and that part of you is going to tell you what she or he wants to do on this holiday. So, and during the whole holiday season, actually, you may have a day that's not part of Christmas or Hanukkah. Maybe it's New Year's Eve even, or maybe it's just a day in the middle of the month. It's okay. Honor what's coming up for you during this holiday if you're experiencing grief. So I'll be talking to you guys in 2018 again, and want to wish everybody a happy, happy new year, and remind everybody we have so many new exciting things coming in 2018. And for starters, at the end of January, the last weekend in January in Nashville, Tennessee, we have the Level 2 Adult Chair Masterclass. And we also have a Level 1 Adult Chair class happening February 10th and 11th in Delray Beach, Florida. We also have another Level 1 class happening in Nashville in the spring. So we've got lots of new and exciting classes coming, but we've got other really, really cool adult chair classes, videos, challenges coming in 2018. So lots more to come, and I look forward to connecting with all of you in 2018. I hope these are some helpful tips for all of you, and sending all of you so much love and wrapping you all in a big giant hug this whole holiday season, and Happy New Year to all of you. And I will see you in 2018. Be safe and healthy. Take great care of yourselves. Love yourself, honor yourself, and we'll talk to you soon.